Hey there, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of the Speak English podcast. I'm David, and today we've got something really powerful to share with you. Something that can truly change the way you speak English. If you've been feeling stuck or too slow when speaking, this might be exactly what you need.
And I'm Sarah. We're so glad you're here with us. Today, we're diving into a technique that helps you speak more fluently, more naturally, and with more confidence. It's called the chunking method, and trust me, it's a total game changer if you want to start thinking in English and stop translating in your head.
Yes, a lot of learners struggle because they try to build every sentence word by word. That takes time, energy, and sometimes it leads to hesitation or fear. But what if you could speak using ready-to-go phrases, just like native speakers do? That's exactly what chunking helps you do.
In this episode, we'll explain what chunking is, why it works so well, and how you can start using it in your daily English practice. We'll also share real-life examples and some practical steps you can follow. And of course, we'll guide you through everything slowly and clearly so you can repeat and practice with us.
So whether you're just getting started or you've been learning English for a while, this method can take your fluency to the next level. We're not talking about memorizing grammar rules. We're talking about speaking in full ideas, full expressions that just sound natural.
Exactly. And by the end of this episode, you'll have a better understanding of how to make English feel easier, faster, and more automatic. So grab a notebook if you want, get comfortable, and let's unlock the power of chunks together.
All right, are you ready? Let's get started with the chunking method and discover how speaking in phrases, not in words, can change everything.
Let's do this.
So, let's begin with the basics. When you speak English, you don't need to create every sentence from scratch, word by word. That's slow, it's stressful, and honestly, it takes a lot of energy. Most of the time, this method leads to hesitation, and that's when people get stuck or start feeling nervous.
Exactly. But with the chunking method, everything gets easier. A chunk is simply a group of words that naturally go together, like a short phrase. And instead of building sentences piece by piece, you just use these chunks as complete ideas. It's like speaking in pre-assembled blocks of English.
Think of it like this. When you were a kid playing with Lego blocks, you didn't build every piece from nothing. You used blocks that already existed. Chunks work the same way. Each one is a ready-to-use phrase. And when you speak, you just connect those blocks together. It's simple and powerful.
Let me give you some examples. You've probably heard or used phrases like, "How's it going?" "No worries," or "Let me think." These are chunks. You don't stop to think about grammar. You just say the phrase as one smooth unit. That's the magic of chunking. It gives you speed and confidence.
And the best part is, you already know a lot of chunks without even realizing it. Phrases like, "I don't think so," or "It depends," come up all the time in natural conversations. These aren't random words put together. They're full expressions that carry meaning. You learn them once, and then you just use them.
Right. And the reason chunks are so effective is because they represent full thoughts. You're not just memorizing vocabulary, you're learning how to express real-life ideas, just like native speakers do. This helps your English sound smoother, more confident, and a lot more natural from the very start. One of the main reasons people feel stuck when speaking English is because they try to build every sentence from zero. Their brain is doing too much, searching for vocabulary, checking grammar rules, choosing the right structure, and all that takes time. It slows you down and makes you feel unsure.
Exactly. But when you use chunks, your brain doesn't have to work so hard. You already have the phrase ready in your mind, so you just say it. No need to pause, no need to overthink. That's why people who use chunks often speak faster, more clearly, and with way more confidence in real conversations.
And here's something powerful. When you use a chunk, you're not just saying words, you're expressing a full idea. You know exactly when to use it, how it sounds, and how it feels. That emotional connection helps you speak naturally, instead of sounding robotic or unsure of yourself.
Think about how native speakers talk. They don't stop every time to plan their sentence like, I need a subject. Now a verb. No way. They speak in patterns, in ready-to-use phrases, because their brain has stored those chunks over years of use. You can do the same by practicing intentionally.
The goal is to move away from building English piece by piece. You want to speak in complete units that carry meaning. This helps your brain shift from thinking in English to actually communicating in English. That small mindset shift changes everything in your speaking performance.
That's the real magic of chunking. It allows you to speak with less effort and more flow. You're not translating, you're not pausing. You're just expressing your thoughts in real English. When your brain does less thinking and more communicating, speaking becomes much more natural and enjoyable.
So next time you feel stuck, ask yourself, am I trying to build this sentence word by word, or do I have a chunk ready to go? The more chunks you collect and use, the easier it becomes to speak without fear. You stop hesitating and start speaking with rhythm, clarity, and real fluency.
And remember, this isn't about perfection. It's about feeling free to express yourself. Chunks give you the confidence to speak up, even when your grammar isn't perfect. Because at the end of the day, communication is not about rules, it's about connection. And chunking helps you build that. One of the biggest steps toward fluency is learning how to think in English. And chunking is one of the best tools to help you make that transition. When you use chunks, you stop translating in your head. You stop thinking in your first language. Instead, you start thinking directly in English, phrase by phrase.
Exactly. And once your brain is used to hearing and using these phrases, they become automatic. For example, when someone asks you a question, your response just comes out, naturally and instantly, because the chunk is already stored in your brain. That's how real fluency starts to happen.
And you know what's amazing? You'll start to recognize the same chunks everywhere. In movies, in conversations, in podcasts, you'll hear expressions like, I'm not sure, or let me check, or it's up to you. You'll hear them so often that they become part of your internal English voice.
That's right. And the more you hear these chunks in context, the more your brain connects the phrase to the situation. So when you're in a similar situation, your brain already knows what to say. That's not memorization. That's real, natural language use. That's thinking in English.
And here's something important to remember. Chunks don't just help you speak faster. They help you understand faster, too. When someone speaks quickly, your brain isn't decoding every single word. It's recognizing the phrase as a whole. That means better listening and smoother conversations.
That's a great point. When you start thinking in chunks, everything becomes faster. Speaking, listening, responding. You're no longer putting together broken pieces. You're using strong, familiar blocks that hold together well. It feels smoother, easier, and more natural on every level.
It's like music. When you learn a song, you don't focus on every individual note. You learn the melody, the flow. That's how English works, too. And chunking helps you feel that rhythm, that flow of the language. It's not about pieces anymore. It's about patterns that your brain already knows.
So if you want to start thinking in English, stop looking at words in isolation. Start listening for the phrases. Notice how people speak. Pick up those natural expressions, practice them, and let them become part of how you think. That's how you start living the language, not just studying it. Let's take a look at some real examples of chunks you can start using today. These are not complicated phrases. In fact, they're short, simple, and super useful in everyday conversations. The goal here is to get familiar with the way real English sounds, not textbook English, but the kind people actually use.
Let's start with this one. I'm on my way. This chunk means you're going to a place right now. Instead of saying something like, I am going to the place where you are, you just say, I'm on my way. It's natural, it's fast, and native speakers say it all the time. That's the power of a good chunk.
Here's another one. Let's keep in touch. This is perfect for when you're saying goodbye to someone but want to stay connected. It works in both casual and professional situations. And again, you're not thinking about grammar. You just say the full phrase with confidence. Let's keep in touch.
What about this one? That's not the point. You can use it when someone is misunderstanding you or focusing on the wrong detail. It means, that's not what really matters here. And the best part is, you don't have to build that sentence from scratch. Just use the phrase as it is.
Another common chunk is, that makes sense. This means something is logical or easy to understand. You can use it in so many situations, when someone explains something to you, or when a situation becomes clear. Say it naturally, as one unit. That makes sense. Smooth and simple.
Now notice something important. All these chunks are complete ideas. You don't need to pause and wonder if the grammar is correct. You don't need to translate. You just say them as they are. Each one communicates something clearly, quickly, and naturally. That's what makes chunking so effective.
And as you start using these phrases, you'll begin to notice them everywhere. You'll hear them in songs, on TV, and in conversations. That constant exposure helps the chunks become part of your own English. They stop feeling like foreign phrases and start feeling like your own words.
So make it a habit to collect useful chunks. Write them down, practice them, say them out loud, use them in context. The more familiar you get with these small blocks of language, the easier it becomes to express yourself clearly, without stress, and without overthinking every word. Now that you understand what chunks are and why they're so powerful, let's talk about how to actually learn them in a smart and consistent way. The goal is not to memorize hundreds of phrases in one day. It's to build a habit, something that you can do every day to grow your natural English.
Step 1 is simple but important. Listen carefully. When you're watching a movie, listening to a podcast, or even having a conversation, pay attention to the phrases people use again and again. These repeated expressions are chunks, and they're gold for your learning. Notice the patterns.
Step 2. Write them down. Don't assume you'll remember them later. Keep a small notebook or a digital note on your phone. Every time you hear a chunk that sounds natural and useful, write it down exactly as you heard it. Include a short example or the context if you can. That makes it stick better.
And here's where most learners stop. But you shouldn't. Step 3 is to say the chunk out loud. Don't just read it in your head. When you speak it, your mouth gets used to the sound, and your brain starts to connect the rhythm, the emotion, and the meaning. That's how you make it automatic.
Even if you're alone, say it. Say it with feeling. Imagine the real situation where you'd use it. That kind of emotional connection is what makes chunks stick long-term. You're not just training your memory. You're training your mouth, your ears, and your brain to work together naturally.
Step 4. Review regularly. Chunks are like little plants. You need to water them. Don't just write them once and forget. Every few days, look at your list. Say the phrases out loud again, and try to use them in different sentences or situations. This repetition is what turns short-term memory into fluency.
And here's a great tip. Don't try to learn too many chunks at once. 2 or 3 new phrases per day is more than enough. If you stay consistent, that's over 60 phrases in a single month, and each one helps you speak more confidently, more clearly, and more naturally. It really adds up over time.
So remember, listen actively, write chunks down, speak them out loud, and review often. It's not magic, it's a method. A simple, effective system that helps you build fluency day by day. Small steps, repeated often, will take you further than one big study session once a week. Keep it steady and real.
One of the best ways to practice chunks daily is to create short conversations using the phrases you've collected. You can write these out or speak them aloud. Try imagining a real-life moment where you would naturally use that chunk, like ordering food, asking for help, or sharing your opinion.
Another great tip is to use the mirror technique. Stand in front of a mirror and pretend you're talking to someone. Say the chunk, then add some emotion. Say it again, this time faster, then slower. This helps you connect your face, voice, and confidence to the phrases you're learning.
You can also record yourself. It might feel awkward at first, but it's super effective. Choose 5 or 6 chunks you want to focus on, then make a short audio recording using each one in a sentence. Later, listen to it and notice how fluent or natural you sound, and where you can improve.
If you like writing, try a daily journal where each entry includes at least 3 chunks you've learned. Don't worry about being perfect. Just focus on using the phrases naturally. Over time, this builds both your vocabulary and your comfort with expressing real thoughts in English.
Here's a powerful suggestion. Use sticky notes. Write 1 chunk per note and place them around your room, near your desk, or on your mirror. Every time you see one, say it out loud in a full sentence. It turns your environment into a learning space and keeps chunks fresh in your mind.
Want to take it even further? Try the 3 times 3 ways challenge. Say each chunk 3 times a day and in 3 different ways. For example, once in a question, once in a statement, and once with strong emotion. It's a fun way to stretch your flexibility with the phrase.
And don't forget to mix new chunks with old ones. When you practice, try combining a phrase you just learned with one you've used before. This reinforces what you already know and connects it to new expressions, creating a more dynamic and fluent way of speaking.
Finally, be patient. Learning chunks is not about speed, it's about consistency. Keep a routine, enjoy the process, and celebrate small victories. Every time you use a chunk correctly in a real conversation, that's fluency in action, and you're closer than you think. Just keep going.
Today we explored one of the most powerful strategies to improve your English fluency: learning and using chunks. These natural word combinations help you speak with more confidence, less hesitation, and much greater ease. It's about training your brain to think in English, one phrase at a time.
We also showed how chunks save mental energy, because instead of building sentences word by word, you're pulling from ready-made phrases that sound natural and native. This gives your speaking a boost and makes your conversations smoother, more enjoyable, and much more fluent.
Throughout the episode, we gave you real examples of how to identify, collect, and practice chunks in your daily routine. These tips, if followed consistently, will transform the way you learn English. The best part? You can start using them immediately, even after this episode ends.
It's important to remember that progress doesn't come from perfection. It comes from repetition and practice. Don't worry about making mistakes. Instead, focus on using what you know, experimenting with new chunks, and enjoying the learning process. That's how fluency grows.
If you found value in today's episode, don't forget to hit the like button. It helps our podcast reach more English learners just like you, and it lets us know you want more content like this. Your support truly means a lot to us.
And we'd love to hear from you. If you made it all the way to the end of this episode, that means you're serious about your English fluency. Write the word chunks in the comments to let us know you're part of this community of dedicated learners.
Also, if you haven't subscribed yet, now is the perfect time. We publish new episodes every week to help you practice English in a fun, natural, and effective way. Join our growing community and take your English to the next level with us.
Thanks for spending this time with us. Remember, learning chunks is one of the smartest ways to sound more fluent and confident in English. Keep practicing, keep growing, and we'll see you in the next episode. You're doing amazing. Don't stop now.